Every builder I know has made at least one of these mistakes. I've made all 5 of these financial mistakes myself within my construction business, but when I focused and had a proactive approach to using software, using systems, using diligence to prevent and solve these mistakes, I was able to build a profitable business that serves my customers, my employees, and myself as a business owner. So let's get into the 5 key financial mistakes of a construction business and how to avoid them. Starting with the first and potentially most obvious, it's underbidding or underestimating. We need to ensure that our estimating process is well thought out and it's accurate. That means using software, using historical data, using Buildertrend, using the catalog, using the takeoff software that's associated with it to build a really strong, comprehensive, and full estimate for our jobs. There's nothing worse than underestimating a job, getting into it, and then we're chasing it the entire time. We're chasing not only the profitability of that job, but also the schedule. So if we're over budget, we might try to hire substandard subcontractors who are going to deliver things late, and it's really going to throw off the entire project. So it's really key to deliver for our customers a really strong estimate, a really strong locked-in price, and we use software, we use process to do that. Do not skip on this. It's probably the most essential aspect of any project is getting the estimate right. Moving on to number 2, and that's not tracking change orders. So whether you're running a fixed price job or a open book cost plus job, you need to track change orders. And I get it, sometimes it's hard to have those conversations with your customer, but it's essential to identify changes in scope so that we can have them reflected in the updated estimate, the updated price of the job. Too many of us want to be too nice about it, give things away for free, but ultimately we're trying to run a business here. And if a customer's changing scope, we should be agreeable to that, but we need to reflect the update in the price, potentially the update in the schedule as well, right? So you need to have a really strong process for logging change orders, for tracking them, for getting approval. Buildertrend is doing this really well with a great drafting process, right? Draft up the change order, review it potentially in your weekly meeting with your customer, send it along for approval. They approve that, we can invoice directly from that change order, and there's no mess. There's nothing that we have to deal with later at the end of the project. It's really important we're proactive about these change orders. We identify them and communicate them with our customer exactly when they happen. That way we don't have an awkward conversation at the end where we're chasing dollars. Essential to capture your change orders. Moving on to number 3, our bills not matching our budget. So we come up with a budget and we use cost codes and cost categories to determine what we think we're going to spend on a job. But a real big problem that happens is when our actuals come in, we're not coding them to the exact same cost codes that we budgeted for. That really throws things off. We think that we're spending in areas we didn't expect to spend, and it could just be an administrative error. So how do we solve for this? We proactively create purchase orders at the onset of a project. We take our budget, we take our estimate, what we think we're going to spend, we create purchase orders that directly match those cost codes and those cost categories. That way when invoices and bills come into us from our vendors, we're able to really easily match those to our POs. It's important, it's really essential that we have our actuals match our budget. If they don't, ourselves, our controller, our customer, they're going to think that we're spending in areas that we didn't budget for and that the entire thing is going to be thrown off, right? It's going to become apparent to us when we see a revised budget that really doesn't match the original at all. So using your software, using Buildertrend, create POs, link them to the schedule, link them to your bids, your estimate, everything linked together, and then we can ensure that our actual costs are actually hitting the right cost codes. Mistake number 4 is blindly rolling over invoices without checking your budget, right? So it's really exciting potentially to send an invoice, whether it's a draw on a fixed price project or it's a cost plus where you bring in expenses, create that invoice, send it off to the customer. But don't skip the step of reviewing the budget. This is where you're going to potentially identify, like we talked about mistake number 3, a mismatch with the cost codes and your budget, or a missed opportunity for change orders, right? So we have to be looking at our budget in tandem with sending our invoices. Also remember that if you have an open book project, your customer is going to be looking at your budget as well. No doubt when they get an invoice, they're going to go right over to their budget and look to see how things are shaking out. Make sure that you have an understanding of what that budget is. Make sure it's accurate because they're going to be looking at it as well. They're probably going to be bringing their questions with you. So when you're invoicing, do that in tandem with a budget review. That's going to really ensure that you're on top of everything, that everything is accurate for you and your customer. The 5th and final mistake is not connecting to QuickBooks Online or whatever your accounting software is early enough. It's essential that Buildertrend and QuickBooks Online are linked together, locked in. Every single transaction in QuickBooks hits Buildertrend and vice versa. Every Buildertrend transaction is sent over to QuickBooks. Double entry is not scalable. Trying to maintain 2 sets of books, one in Buildertrend, one in QuickBooks, will absolutely not work. So you need to make it clear that at the onset of every project, we're making sure that connection is strong, that it's tight, and that every single transaction is hitting. Now these mistakes aren't a big deal if you're making them when you're just starting out. That means that you're human, right? What's essential is that we focus on the software and the systems, and then we have a proactive approach to fixing them. Everything we talked about is really interconnected, right? One mistake can lead to the other. So thinking about all of these things and thinking about your process and how we can prevent them is essential to ensuring, one, you run a profitable business, and two, your customers are satisfied with no surprises on the financial side of things. Let me know your comments. I'd love to hear what success you've had with financials within Buildertrend or whatever software you're using, and we'd love to hear from you in the comments below.